Hey guys, it's Sarah from Just My Typewriter, and I'm here in a brand new setup with new lights and a new typewriter to try. This is the We Are Memory Keepers typewriter. When I started typewriter collecting, I knew I had two options for my first few typewriters. I could go old school and get something antique or vintage and repair it myself, or I could get a modern remake of the typewriter. Yes, they make modern remakes of the typewriter. This is the We Are Memory Keepers typewriter. They were sold as craft supplies through Michaels, and they also have their own website. These came out as an option for crafters to use to make labels, to write in their scrapbooks, to craft with, and they also made a line of colored typewriter ribbons, which I've reviewed on this channel before. I ended up going the vintage route because it was so much cheaper. Most of my typewriters I get for under $25. When these typewriters came out, they were $200, $300, which is a lot to pay for a crafting supply, especially if you've seen how I craft on this channel.
Woman burns herself at work while journaling.
Since then, I've been looking for a cheap version of this typewriter so I can go out and play with it, maybe throw it off of a vehicle. But I did find this typewriter on Facebook Marketplace for $20, and she came home with me. So this is the We Are Memory Keepers typewriter in white. Now this typewriter has some of the functions of the traditional old school typewriters and is designed to look like an old school typewriter, but there's some functions on it that are just missing, and you wouldn't know that if you were a typewriter collector. So let's go through the functions real quick of this machine. To start with, this machine's exterior is plastic. Can you hear that dull thud? That is plastic on the exterior of the machine. Now there are some portables that are plastic or even Bakelite keys on typewriters. My Smith Corona Corsair Deluxe has a plastic case to it, and I still find it pretty durable. This, however, is really thin plastic. If you dropped it, it would definitely break. The inside, I'm assuming, is cast aluminum because it is pretty lightweight. It's not a very heavy machine, and it doesn't come with a case. So I don't know if it's a portable machine, if it's a desk machine, what they were going with here, because there is no case. They did make dust covers, which is traditional for desk machines, but they sold out of those real quickly because typewriter collectors found them and immediately bought all of them. In addition to the typewriter, they also came out with those typewriter ribbons, which you can replace in the typewriter pretty easily. All of those spools will fit directly onto this typewriter because they're made for this typewriter. Some additional functions here on the exterior: you can change the weight of the type. That's what they call it. You have the H and L here on the one side, which is not actually the level of resistance or touch typing, it's the level of darkness of the type. And then on the other side, they do have the change of level with the plus and minus signs. You can change the resistance of the typewriter. You can also change between the black color of the ribbon and the colored version of the ribbon. There is an automatic button next to the space bar, which adds like a bunch of additional spaces, kind of like on the Olivetti Linea 98, which I had on this channel before. If you hit this button, it makes a lot of noise and does a bunch of spaces all in a row. I don't know why you would use that. You also have the traditional carriage lever return. You also have a button over here, which you can move the carriage back and forth with. This again is like the Linea 98 that I've had before. They had a button to move the carriage. You also have line spacing on the one side. You have a paper measuring thing, I don't know the technical term for it here, to put your paper against, and you can adjust the margins. And there's also a little paper guide for the back. If we were to compare this machine to an antique or vintage machine, what are the differences we would find? Well, first of all, it doesn't feel very durable. I have plastic typewriters in my collection. My Smith Corona Corsair Deluxe is plastic, but it still feels pretty hefty. It feels pretty durable. This machine is incredibly lightweight, which makes it great for picking it up and moving it around, but it doesn't give it a real heft to it when it's typing. You're going to find that it might slide around a lot, it might move a lot, it just doesn't feel very durable or well put together. And this is made really obvious when you look at the type samples from it. The alignment of the letters is just not straight, and a lot of that can come from it just being too lightweight to really handle the pressure that is typing with keys onto a piece of paper. In addition, it's missing a ribbon reverse function. That doesn't sound very exciting or like very important, but as I started typing on this machine when I got it, I had to change the ribbon out pretty quickly because I would get to the grommet on the inside of the ribbon that was on it, and there was no way to reverse it. I could switch the spools around, but there was no way to use a switch to reverse the ribbon direction in the typewriter, which I find incredibly valuable when I'm actually using a typewriter because I feel like I get double the use out of my ribbons. One thing that I've noticed that I hadn't really thought of before is that the rest underneath the keys is set back a little bit, so the key itself or the type slug itself doesn't rest on what would usually be like foam or felt to soften it when it comes back down. It's actually set back a little bit, so it's below the type slug with the letter on it and just resting on the bar, which makes it feel kind of, I don't know the word for it, maybe janky. Like the letter will come up and go back down, but it doesn't feel super secure. And that's because it's not resting back down on felt, which keeps all those type slugs in line. It also means that sometimes your type slugs are going to sit in there and they're just not going to be in line with each other. They're not going to be straight. You're going to have some that sit up from the others. And that's because that bar is just set back a little bit. I don't know the reason for that. I'm sure there is one, but I did find that to be a little bit different on this particular typewriter.
Hello, side note, I'm here filming another video and on my phone, and I just realized something about the We Are Memory Keepers typewriter that is also the same in the Olympia SM9. When you lift up the cover, can't do it from this angle. When you lift up the front cover on this typewriter, you'll also notice that this little lip for the type slugs is also set backwards. So it is more like the We Are Memory Keepers design, where it's not felt right under the type slugs, it's underneath them a little bit further. Let me get you another shot of that. So you can see here that it's actually set back a little bit so the type slugs aren't resting on it. But I do find that these ones seem to be a little bit more sturdy because they're resting in on this rubber surface, which gives them a little bit more bounce.
One thing that was very apparent to me once I turned the typewriter over is that it is not designed to be messed with. So a lot of my typewriters I've had to do repairs on, and that means you have to learn how to take your typewriters apart, put them back together, take out parts. And you'll notice pretty early on in taking apart a typewriter that yes, it's complicated, but the parts are designed to come out of the typewriter if you know how to do it. On this typewriter, when you turn it over, you'll notice that any pieces that go into the typewriter that might be little bars that would hold things together are bent in such a way that you can't take them out. They're almost embedded into the plate the way they're bent so deeply into there. And I'm not sure you'd ever be actually able to get any parts out of it without destroying the machine itself. So that is kind of concerning if you're looking for something that you could have for a really long time. Part of having something for a really long time is you being able to perform maintenance on it and keep it up to date. I don't think you can do that on this machine easily without maybe damaging something. So when looking at this typewriter, I kind of wanted to figure out what design it was supposed to be. I don't know all the typewriters that were ever made, but I do have some references from my own collection that I think this typewriter looks similar to. And the first one that I really thought it looked like when I got it was my Olympia SM9. And the obvious reason is because the colors are the same. They've both got this white exterior with dark keys. But there are a few other things that I think make them look similar. Namely, the keys are almost the exact same shape. They're a little bit more square on the Olympia series, especially this SM9. I have an SM7 too, it gets confusing. But I think the keys look the same to me. They're both square, they're both dark colored, and they both have a little bit of a textured surface on the top of the key, which I think makes these comparable in the feel of the machine. Another thing that's similar between these two machines is that the color selector, the level of tension is both on the outsides of these machines, which I find super helpful. I hate having to pop up the cover of a Royal to change the touch control. I like that it's on the outside of the machine, and in both cases there's this plus and minus on that lever of these machines, so I think that makes it similar. But that's kind of where the similarities stop for me on these two machines. The Olympia is very, very heavy, and that's because this cover is made of metal. So it is just heavier, but it's also a portable typewriter, so it comes with a case. And the We Are Memory Keepers typewriter does not come with a case. You can buy a dust cover for it, so maybe it's a desk machine, but if you just look at the size comparison between these two machines, They're similar heights. I think the Olympia might be a little bit taller. The carriage on the We Are Memory Keeper is probably a little bit smaller, but it's really wide, which doesn't make any sense to me. In addition to finding out what kind of typewriter it kind of looked like, I wanted to see what people thought about this typewriter. So I went to my Instagram, just.my.typewriter, and asked you about it. And here are some of the responses. This was one of the first ads that popped up when I was searching for typewriters. After a little bit of research, I found that this one receives a ton of hate from the typewriter community. Very true. I think most people who collect typewriters are appalled isn't the right word, but it's the right vibe of a word with these typewriters. You'll find that they're kind of flimsy, they're expensive, and people who know things about typewriters probably will not gravitate toward this kind of machine just because they know that there are better options for them out there. But someone else made an excellent point, and I really want to point out her argument. Wendoliana, kind of feels like Harry Potter spell, said, "We Are Memory Keepers makes tools for scrapbooking, and I think the community these machines are created for, not hardcore typewriter enthusiasts. If purchased for crafting, these typewriters will get pretty light use, so it's likely they'll be able to serve the purpose they were created for. Not everyone has the patience to hunt down a vintage machine, clean it, learn to make repairs on complicated machines, find replacement parts, or have access to someone who can service typewriters. Sometimes good enough that works right out of the box is all you're looking for, and I think these typers fill that niche. Plus they come in cute colors, and the colored ribbons are insanely fun." I think Wendoliana makes a really great point here, and that's that these typewriters are not created for crazy people like me. These typewriters are created for people like my mom, who wants a cool typewriter and likes the look of a typewriter, but doesn't really have the patience to fix a typewriter of her own, and isn't looking to add to a collection, but rather have one machine for the few times that she might need it out of the year. Same with crafters, people who are working in scrapbooks, who maybe just want to make some tags for their scrapbooks, or displays or crafts that don't really need a daily use machine, who aren't super interested in the repair process of a machine, and this could be a really great starter machine for them. In addition, I think that typewriters can be incredibly intimidating. Having been intimidated by machines myself, I find that this is pretty easy to learn how to use, and it is not intimidating at all as a typewriter, especially if it's working right out of the box. I think typewriters can be really scary, especially if you have to do repairs on your first machine. I was lucky and my first typewriter came out of the box perfect from eBay, had absolutely no trouble with it, and it was really easy to then get into the repairs after that because I'd already had one success. But if your first machine comes to you and it needs a lot of repairs, it might deter you from trying to get into other typewriters, especially if you have no idea what you're doing and you have no idea what resources are available out there in the typewriter community. So I think she makes a great point. Maybe this typewriter isn't for typewriter people. It is interesting, and it's cool to see that typewriters still have a place in the world, even if it's not the original vintage machines. I'm not saying go out and get one, because don't. But if you're looking for a crafting typewriter, you don't want to make a full vintage typewriter commitment because it is a lifestyle, and you want something a little bit more lightweight and just easy to throw around, this might be a great option for you. But don't buy it full price. Look for the resale ones on Shop Goodwill, on Facebook Marketplace. They pop up all the time. Get one for 20 bucks. Don't spend $200 on this guy. One side note, someone did say to me that maybe this typewriter is great for replacement parts. So if you're looking for a new platen, for instance, for your typewriter because you can't get one resurfaced, it's too expensive, this might be a really good parts machine for you. I'm not saying it's fully compatible with typewriters that were made in the olden days because I have no idea, but that might be another great use for this for a typewriter enthusiast that isn't looking to use it as a typewriter, but rather an organ donor for your collection. So this has been the long-awaited We Are Memory Keepers typewriter review. I'll still use the ribbons, and I still might play around with this guy a little bit, and maybe throw it off of a moving vehicle. If you want to see more typewriter content about actual typewriters, check out the other videos on this channel. We also have an Instagram, which we talked about today, at just.my.typewriter. Feel free to send me your typewriter questions and interact with my collection over there. I want to thank you so much for watching, and remind you, you're just my typewriter.